What is up, everyone? JD here. I hope you're all doing well today. Today I'm excited to bring you a full review of my Kansept Convict. This one here has a 3.3 inch S35 VN blade steel, 4.25 inch titanium handles, and this one is a frame lock, and a sheepdog design, as you can see there since I have it flipped over. Overall length of 7.7 inches, so it is in that sweet spot that I love for an EDC. A little bit of sweat there. And the claim weight on this one is 4.2 ounces, so let's go ahead and give that a quick little check. Move it up a little bit there. So again, 4.2 is the claimed weight. Man, this is probably the second knife that I've reviewed this week where it's come in underweight, and that's always a pleasant surprise that it comes in under the manufacturer's weight. Let's really quickly move through my comparison knives to help you get a good understanding of just what that 7.5 inch size equates to. First up, the Spyderco Yojimbo 2, which I think this is going to come out for the comparable knives. Really do like the comparison of these two, and the Spyderco Shaman. This one here with the carbonized made fat carbon dark matter scales, and they are in the skinny, so it doesn't have that hump. As you can see, this is a little bit smaller than both of these knives, but the Yojimbo has the elongated handle for the ergonomics, which is why I think that it does come in like that. But have a look at these off the table really closely, and you can see they're actually very similar. You can see the handle length from pivot to pivot is ever so slightly longer on the Yojimbo 2, and then just a little bit more tip out there on the Yojimbo 2. Let's go ahead and put these away for right now and bring out the crossbar lock knives that I like to use for these comparisons. First up is going to be the Benchmade Bug Out. The Bug Out here is the the base S30V variant with the Flytanium scales. The Convict keeps wanting to fall over on the pocket clip. We're going to leave it just like that because it actually turns out to be a really good angle for right now. Next up, we're going to bring out the SIG K320 made by Hogue. Very nice comparison knife in my opinion. Very similar sizes. So again, that 3.3 inch versus that I think it's a 2.4 inch for the S30V. Really really close in size. Both profile and carry profile I think is very similar. We'll go ahead and bring the K320 underneath here, and you can see that the K320 overall is just a bigger knife, but still that handle girth is really similar. So we'll go ahead and get these out of here for now so that we can bring the budget knives in, and then we'll do some thickness profile comparisons. So first up is going to be the Kubi Royal, which I think is another great little EDC, but this is under that 3-inch size. So to give you a comparison of a knife that is closer to that 3.3 inch, we're going to bring out the KU 331, which I think is another fantastic comparison to the Convict. This one here, I'm going to go ahead and do the profiles really quick before I jump into all of that. So from a thickness perspective, and I guess we'll just show you how easy it is to actuate left-handed if you're ambidextrous. You can see the Convict is just thinner than the Royal. This is a really good EDC here, guys. It's going to be a really good review of this one. I like this one a lot. Thinner than the KU331. We'll go ahead and bring out the Bug Out because that is another thinner EDC that I like a lot. Just a little bit thicker, but not by much. We'll bring out the Yojimbo 2. I'm not going to worry with the other two bigger knives. You can see just right even with it almost. I think maybe the Yojimbo 2 is slightly thicker. I don't know. So we're going to go ahead, again, we're going to put the Yojimbo 2 out here. If you like the Para 3 and the Yojimbo 2, I really think the Convict feels like a premium version of that. Another knife that I do want to bring out here that I think compares really well is going to be the Chavez Redención Street. This is another one that's really close in size to the Kansept Convict. Another one that I liked for this comparison is the Urban EDC Supply F5.5. I think this one's another close comparison. It is shorter in blade length, but the handle and thickness in the pocket when it's all folded up and you're carrying it is very similar. And then the last one that I wanted to bring out here for the comparison is actually going to be The Kaiser Sheepdog, the full size with the thumb hole. I think this is another great comparison to the Convict. So hopefully this has all helped you understand from a size perspective what you're dealing with or what you're looking at when you look at the Convict. I really like the ergonomics on this one a lot. Really good contouring, feels really nice in hand, nice and thin with just a hint of contouring in the handles. You can see here just a little tiny hit of contouring. Now they do have different variants and versions out there that have different colors, anodizing. This one here is like a gray faded into a black, or a black faded into a gray, I suppose. I love the bronzed thumb studs and hardware on this. I think all of it looks nice. My first complaint is going to be, I wish they would have done the pivot in titanium and they would have had it match the hardware. I kind of feel like that's a little bit of a miss and a small mark for me. Lockup on the knife is really, really nice. There is absolutely no blade play. This is really well done. Solid build. Access to the lock bar is pretty good, and because they did contour it, you can get your thumb down in there comfortably, and it actuates really, really nice. And the action on this thing is fall shut. This thing really does have fantastic bearing access with, again, no blade play and perfectly centered from the factory. I know I have their Prêt-à-Towel. I didn't bring that out here for the comparison, but I really liked this one a lot, and I love the action on this one. But unfortunately, because they have the pivot collar on there and they milled into the titanium on this one, I haven't checked this one out. This one here, I've had a little bit of centering issue, and I've had to hit it with the Loctite a couple times. I'm sorry, I don't know why I'm stumbling today, guys. I had to hit it with the Loctite a couple of times, and I ended up just leaving it in there for a week. And this is actually my first day pulling it out and fidgeting with it to see if that's fixed it. And again, I think that is because the combination of the milled titanium that the bearings ride directly on are part of the issue, and the other issue is that one has the pivot collar. Now, I actually prefer the Convict over the Prêt-à-Towel, which I really like. The Prêt-à-Towel. It has really good ergonomics, but it is a longer knife. So from an EDC or an everyday carry, I really like this one a lot. It is really thick on the spine, but really thin behind the edge. It has a fantastic edge on it, and again, really impressed with the ones I've had. The Noble Knives, Goblin XL, the Prêt-à-Towel, and now the Convict from Kansept, and I really do like these a lot. Feels really good in hand. This is such a great utility shape. It really does help when I'm breaking down the boxes or getting into the packages, that I don't have to move up on the handle a lot. Feels more secure. I can actually let it rest on my fingers as I go across the package, which helps me with my detailed cuts. I'm not moving around as much. And again, that bearing access, oh my goodness, it is so smooth. It's really hard for me to explain just how smooth it is. As a matter of fact, you saw just there, it just wants to fall down. If it wasn't for that lock bar in the way, this thing would just be a guillotine. But that does mean it has really good detent on that lock bar, and they did a really good job making sure that that pocket clip is resting more on the handle and less on the lock bar. Over travel stop is integrated into the insert on this one as well. I don't know if I mentioned that. Does not have any milling, solid slabs, but as you saw, this is a really lightweight knife and a really fantastic EDC, and I think it looks very nice in my opinion. It does have a really well done milled pocket clip. It has nice flat surface. You don't feel that in the hand almost at all. I mean, you can tell it's there, but because this knife is so thin, it's not uncomfortable and it doesn't create a hot spot. Catches the pocket really well. Additionally, it goes in and out of the pocket really well. It does have the cutout on the outside. I wish some of these manufacturers would switch that to the inside, but they do a good job again with making sure that that pocket clip prevents you from touching the lock bar, and it does not, as long as you're familiar with frame locks and you handle a lot of frame locks, it does not prevent you from being able to deploy it in any number of ways. Thumb studs only, but I do like the fact that they upgraded these from the thumb disc style that they had on there before, because it does get in the way of the cutting path a little bit. So they do listen to their consumers, because I know that was feedback that they got and a change that they made for this knife on 2022. Man, I just really love the look of that. I don't know, like it's maybe maybe it's weathered or maybe burnt a little bit more on the top. And again, the stop pin, fantastic that they anodized that to match it. And it has a little bit of shouldering on there for the stop pin, which is nice, but you still can see it. I just wish they would have made the pivot match. I think that would look so good. Not that this is a bad looking knife. It's a good looking knife, but I think that being a titanium pivot, man, and they would have bronzed it, would have really just completed the look of this one for me. This is definitely a recommendable knife if you like the Sheepdog, if you like the Para 3, the Ojimbo F5.5, the Redencion, the KU331 from QB. Can't think of any other knives that are kind of in the same ballpark as this. I'm looking around because my knives are spread out everywhere today. I'm doing all kinds of stuff today. This is a really good one, especially if you like that sheep's foot blade shape. And again, this one's really well done, fantastic edge. S35 is a nice steel, still well rounded. When it's treated well, it is plenty hard and it will hold an edge for a while, and it strops really well. So you don't have to worry about spending a whole bunch of time trying to resharpen it. Here you can see the name, Convict, Sheepdog design. And on this side, you can see it has the blade steel, and I'm guessing that's the model number. A little close, there we go, the model number. So you can see all of that. It does have a nice stone wash finish. I didn't talk about that. Nice stone wash finish on it. Really well done. I like that. I like stone wash finishes. I'm not a snob. I know some people are tired of sandblasted and blah, 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 blah. Man, if the finish is nice and the knife works well and it cuts well and it has good ergos, I'm generally pretty happy. I really don't bug out about something that has coating on it. As you can see here, you can see where it goes through and it gets a little bit of the burn marks, but I feel like, man, that just kind of shows that I use my knives. And Spyderco has a really nice coating on theirs, but you can still see this one here. I carry that one a lot. It probably doesn't show up enough, but I carry that one a lot. In the end, all my knives are going to end up showing used. The disadvantage to a coated blade is you're going to see the scarring eventually at some point or another. When you use those, it's just going to show up. But again, I like that worn look. I mean, I even sometimes force that worn look onto some knives that I like. So you can see here, I did the acid etch, and then I came back and stonewashed the hell out of it. So it has like this blotchy look to it. I like that though. I know it's not everybody's thing, but I really do like that. And that's all that's going to happen with the knives that I keep and really like and carry for a while. And this one's probably going to be no exception. This is a fantastic EDC. I can highly recommend it. If it's not in your price point, again, I'm going to steer you back to the KU. I know it doesn't have that sheep's foot style, but it is a very similar style knife, and it's going to do similar work. There is a Kubi and a Petrified Fish that I've seen out there that have this style blade shape. I'm probably going to try to get a hold of those in the not too distant future, and then what I'll probably do is end up doing a little like battle of the warning sheep foots out here. Let me put these down so I'm not trying to bump them into each other. So I'll do something where I'll do a battle of these blades, and I'll try to pick something from each price point and or just something that's very similar that can go head to head, just for some fun. And that way everybody gets to see something that might be in their budget, in their particular budget. If you enjoyed this video, do me a favor, leave a like. It helps me with the YouTube algorithm. If you enjoy content like this, consider subscribing and turning on your notifications to all so you get alerts when all my videos drop, and you can make the decision on when you watch them, and don't let YouTube do that for you. Again, thank you for all the support. Everyone, you are awesome. I thank you so much. I hope I can continue to grow the channel. Don't forget to check out and watch for more on upcoming giveaways that are going to be coming out. I have some knives here actually right behind me that I'm going to be completing my reviews on. I did not actually decide to carry them because I want the people that win those to get them in brand new condition. So I just decided at home to handle a little bit. I did a little bit of paper cutting. I didn't take anything through any cardboard. I didn't want to do that knowing that I was going to be using those as giveaways, but I did want to at least get some content out of them. So it's going to be more overview style reviews instead of reviews. But having said that, be on the lookout for that. And you need to turn on your notifications so you see when that comes out if you're interested in getting some free swag. Thanks again. I hope all of you have a fantastic week. And until next time, peace.